Well, it was very hard to predict initially how the film production was gonna go, because you never been to that country, you have no idea, and but I think, and had like very limited time, like 10 days. It's kind of like, ugh. For me, it definitely surpassed my expectations.
El proyecto me pareció muy bueno, la verdad. Me pareció que tuvimos un buen horario, muy cansado, pero nos fue muy bien realmente. Me gustó mucho el proyecto, creo que adquirí mucha experiencia en cuanto al audio y asistiendo a los camarógrafos.
It was good. We did a ton. It was all day and went into the night with going through the files. It was good. We got a lot of great content. We shot a lot more than what we were expecting to, which was good. It's cool getting to see El Salvador and getting to go in to like non-touristy areas and actually go explore in the woods too a bit.
I thought it went great. There was a lot to capture. When you're trying to do a documentary, I assume you try to get as much footage as you possibly can so that you can, sort through it, try to tell a story in a condensed time. We were there for, I don't know, over a week, and I'm sure it's hard to get it all.
The same as film production, it did surpass my expectations, and I like the country, and it's definitely not what I thought it would be, and it's definitely not what people think it is. When you go there, and I just felt like home, like culturally,
It was harder for me because I'm starting to create relationships with people. And so you're more apt to be close to them and care for them more. And they're people, they're humans, they're just like, your close friends. And so you worry about them and you realize that they live in a very dangerous area. The day before we left, there was a bombing. 4 people were killed in a car right outside the town we were staying in, as because they didn't pay up to the gangs. It makes me worry. It's real. This is very real. They're innocent people just trying to survive.
I will say that the people were super amicable, very kind, very hospitable. Everywhere we went, they greeted you, asked you how your day was going. But when we drove around and we just saw them in their day-to-day activities, you can tell, you could see the weight of the war, the Civil War, and the weight of the current issue with the gangs. That burden on their shoulders, and that they were stressed and worried. With regard to their amenities, we have it made here in the United States. I feel like it's pretty simple to brush your teeth and take a shower here and not worry about the water so much. When the locals don't drink their own water, that's a major concern. And so always having to be hyper vigilant to make sure you're not consuming any of their water by accident was, after a few days, it was burdensome. But it was a good, I'm glad that I got to experience their lifestyle. I'm glad I didn't stay in a hotel and have, running water and escape having to experience what they experience every day.
I think it was the lady in the wheelchair, her story alone was very impactful, and how, she decided to leave America and to go back with her family, and just how much her family meant to her, even though she would have had way better treatment had she stayed in America. So that alone was powerful. But then when Laz paid to get a ramp installed in front of her house, so that way she could get around better, I think that was probably one of my favorite things from the trip.
My most fondest memory is probably riding on the back of the truck, sitting on the tailgate with my feet hanging off the car when we were going and coming back from Lempa River. That was freeing. Just driving in the air and seeing the mountains all around you. That was my most favorite moment.
I understand more why people want to leave the country. You know, I understand more why they come here, because obviously the level of, living there is not great, and and if before I was kind of hesitant about, well, why would you, now I feel more compassion towards them.
Las historias de los inmigrantes me parecían muy emotivas porque pasaron por muchas cosas, pasaron por muchas tragedias, pero ellos siguen luchando y me pareció muy emotivo.
I was, here it's cool to hear the different stories because, on the news you just hear a bunch of immigrants coming, they take people's jobs. But it was cool to see that, like the one dude we talked to, he paid the taxes. And then just how some of them, they just wanted to work for a little bit and then go back to their families. And I really like the one dude that we met in his home where he said he wished he could have, the American flag up because, America helped him, get protection of a good house for him and his family. I think, I really did help to humanize it, and these are people, they're trying to do the best that they can for them and their families.
The day we were in Tijuana, there was a young girl who lost her brother the day before in Tecate. She was hit by a car. She was hurting. Sad.
I hope it educates people because you don't hear a lot of the stories of people. They're coming here, working. If they work for businesses, that's helping the businesses. So I think it can show, human faces to people and show that these are people too.
Espero que la película toque corazones. Espero que mucha gente se dé cuenta de que somos seres humanos, que las personas también que están cruzando las fronteras son seres humanos, quizás con una idea o con una actitud errónea muchas veces, pero son seres humanos como nosotros y también merecen ser tratados como seres humanos.
Well, with regards to the movie and after people see the documentary, what would I want them to get out of it? I hope they just become empathic and understanding. If you are, I won't even say wealthy, but if you are making some money in El Salvador and the gangs come and extort you for money and you have to worry about that all the time, and if you don't pay them, you could eventually be killed. That's stressful. And so when people are fleeing those environments to come here, we should have a sense of a humble pride that people are willing to leave their country to come here because they feel like this country can give them a fresh start